It's good afternoon and good evening from the Raymond E. Gishad Technical Center on a Sunday evening, Sunday afternoon. Pretty overcast, gloomy, and cloudy skies. But nevertheless, we have got a match on our hands here for you. And we say good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you're taking our broadcast from AI Live. Welcome to live coverage here for our first match of this evening in the Champions League, the senior portion of the male division, the Champions League. This match was scheduled for last Friday, but due to the inclement weather, it was pushed back to today. And so we'll be bringing you live action. The Attackers FC playing in the blue and black shorts versus the Lymers FC in their traditional pink and black. They will be doing battle here this afternoon. Your commentators are here, Doc, Kate, and Brian, and myself, Lucy, and Tony Fleming. And we are happy to be bringing you live broadcasts here again in this encounter. As I say, good afternoon, Doc. Welcome to AI Live microphones.
Yes, good afternoon to one and all taking our coverage here. This does promise to be a very exciting game between two sides that would be in need of a victory. The Attackers, they would especially need to win today to keep pace with the Ducks and the Lions in this Champions League. And for the Attackers, they are missing a couple of their key pieces. Still no Casa. And they are without Rasheem Thompson for this game. Rasheem picking up a red card in their last encounter versus the Ducks United.
Yes, certainly. And the Lymers themselves too, certainly without a few of their regular starters. But we have seen where they would have lost two matches in this year's competition so far, and they have drawn that solitary match against Kicks United, who will come up against the Roaring Lions in our nightcap match. And so both of these two teams will be certainly looking to get all three maximum points if they really are to keep pace in touching distance with the Roaring Lions and the Ducks United. And so it's going to be like what we say here in the Caribbean, a mouth-watering encounter between these two teams as they look to see who can at least ascend to send up the table. Actually, it's nice and cool. I would want to think the field should be good for playing football as well. We have had some really good showers to suit the pitch, and so it should be nice and soft, pitching in some areas at times, but we are looking for a good showing here between these two teams. You can maybe say maybe evenly matched, so to speak, with the Attackers missing a few of their key players, but it's good to see the likes of Samuel back, who didn't play in the previous match, as well as that's like Jan Romney, and so some assistance for the Lymers, Doc, and we certainly looking for good competition here this afternoon.
Yes, the Lymers team is certainly looking a lot stronger than the one they put out in their last encounter. Their full team sheet reads Daniel Bailey, the number one in goal. Still no Yannick Belchassi overseas in St. Martin, I believe. They have the Bradshaw brothers, Noah and Sidhu, at centre back, 27 and 29 respectively. Kenya Luja Brown, the number 6. Caleb Bryan, the number 16. Amoni Gums back in the starting 11 today, consistently now. Amoni Gums, the number 12. Roderick Herbert, the number 15. Coach Colin, he is back as well, the number 5. Samuel Fleming, captain in the side today, the number 8. Carlos Richardson, is the number 10, and Ian Romney, the number 7. Of course, I believe Coach Sauer is away with the under 17 boys, so he is not there today. I believe it's Grant who's taking over the duties in the technical area. For the attackers, as mentioned previously, they are missing a number of key pieces. None are bigger than their captain, Casa, but their second leading goal scorer, Chadwick Samuel, he is out as well. As Riley looks to swing a ball in, Riley up against Herbert. Full lineup for the attackers reads Hakeem Beard, the number 6. Captain to the Javier Special Brooks, the number 14. This is wonderful by John, but it will be cleared away. Romy and Kabi, after not getting onto the field the last game, in very controversial circumstances, he starts today in the absence of both Shakoy Reed and Javon Lloyd. He's the number 15. Sinterval Duke retains his starting position, the number 27. And Ronnie Gomez is back on Ireland and back in goal for the attackers, the number 1. Ricardo John, the man who was creating everything for the attackers last game, he's the number 20. Chelly Joseph, who also scored in that last encounter, retains his spot in the midfield, the number 9. Hassan Mason is back at centre back. The formidable partnership he formed with Special Mason, the number 23. Kadeem Riley, the number 7, and rounding out the 11 is the man who's returning to the starting 11 once again, Tarek Sampson, the number 5.
Yes, Doc, and also returning in the middle is Hilton. He's been away for some time, and we've seen where Albert Burton, who doesn't really referee that often, had to step in with the absence of Rose, the veteran Rose himself. So it's good to have another one of our referees back as well. And if you notice that both of these teams who most predominantly play in fixed peg will have some challenge out there because the field is certainly more wet than usual.
Yes, definitely. The field is a bit more slippery. We saw referee Hilton slipped a bit earlier there. As here comes Samuel going forward, looking for Ian Romney. Romney whips a ball in towards Carlos Richardson. As here comes Amoni Gums. Gums trying to put this one across to Caleb. It's cut out. Here comes John. John spinning. John flicks it across, looking for Sampson. As his Beard now. Beard to Riley. Riley with a miscontrol. It's out for a throw-in. So the way it's looking right now, it looks like Wabi is playing over at right back, Caleb
yes.
Brooks.
Yes.
And it's Special and Mason in the center of defense, and Duke is playing at left back. What this means is that while the defense is very physical and has good height, there's no speed back there,
yes.
and they will have trouble marking the man of Amoni Gums. As here comes Kabi. Kabi has his across blocked. It's out for a corner.
Yes, certainly they will have to be on their P's and Q's, and with the wetness of the ground in terms of the swift and sharp turns, that might pose a problem to them as well. And if the Lymers midfield players, the likes of Colin, who likes to dump that long ball, are really noticing who's playing at the back, we may see much more of those long passes coming through.
I think they would have been better served to put Sampson somewhere in that back line just to give him a bit more speed to keep up with Amoni Gums, because the man guarding him right now, Wabi, he has no chance of keeping up with him. But there's Chetty. Vandrick Herbert wins the header, and he's going to try and send them running. But again, Chetty gets in the way, but Herbert picks it up once again. Herbert tries to go out wide there. Now Riley.
The ball is out.
Riley to Sampson. Sampson with Gums for company. Goes back to Wabi. Special. Sampson once again. Wabi. Captain Special. Towards Chetty. They just possessing the ball now. The attackers trying to lull the Lymers to sleep. As here comes Hakeem Beard getting forward over on the right-hand side. It's in towards Romain Kabi. Kabi goes back to Beard. Beard with a delectable ball in. And it's going to be headed only as far as Sampson. Sampson to Kabi. Kabi tries to let this one off. It's blocked. And now here come the Lymers trying to hit on the counter. Oh, good skill. He can send the Mooney running. And Mooney was special for company. Is forced to go backwards. Shifted wide towards Herbert, but Centerville Duke is in the way. And it's a good header there by Kadeem Riley. He has Ricardo John. John back across towards Kadeem Riley, but a bit too heavy. Riley to the byline, whips a ball to the back post, and it's just taken away from Ricardo John.
Yes, good work there. That looked like by Richardson.
One high up the field. It's Tarek Sampson. Drags the shot well wide.
But good defending there by Bracha there. Really baiting John and eventually trying to show him exactly where he wanted him to go, not giving him any opportunity for foot race at all. And in the end, John had to pass the ball to Riley, who had to actually chase it all the way from the other end. So good, smart defending there from the defender there in Bracha there in the Lymers defense.
There's been all attackers thus far, but here come the Lymers trying to create something. Good step in there by Wabi, and a loose touch by Ricardo John allows Daniel Bailey to collect.
Well, John would have started further in midfield, but he looks as if he had pushed more in a central striking role now. So
we saw in their last game they played against the Docks United, Ricardo John did start as an attacking midfielder, and Chadwick Samuel was playing up front for them. But again, with no Chadwick Samuel, they have to turn back to Ricardo John playing as a striker. John, of course, the leading goal scorer in this men's league, far and away. And the only player that was somewhat close to him, the only player somewhat close to him were two of his former teammates. Well, his former teammate and his current teammate, Jaron Gale and Chadwick Samuel. Here's Beard. Beard over the top, brilliant run by Kabi, but the ball just skidded with the wet surface into the arms of Daniel Bailey.
Certainly a good pass, just a little probably overhitting it.
Mason scuffs his header a bit, and Lady will pick this one up. Beard steps in before Samuel. Riley against Herbert. But topples over. Foul and free kick to the Lymers.
Yes, Herbert has put in a good shift for the Lymers, especially wherever he's asked to play. And referee says ball is still moving. He has really showed up.
Free kick. Booted upfield. And Chetty couldn't get his pass directed towards Riley. It will be a throw-in to the Lymers. Approaching the 10th minute of play, it is still goalless, but it's looked more and more like the attackers will get themselves a goal before long. They've looked good, just haven't been able to create that final ball. A good early start for them. Here's Brian. Pass is cut out. Hakeem Beard now. Beard. Now Sampson. To Chetty. Back to Sampson. Now John. Out wide to Riley. Riley goes back to Centerville Duke. Duke across the special. Now Wabi. Good pass. Whipped into the area towards Ricardo John, but Bradshaw won that header. A loose touch in there. And it is eventually going to find its intended target. Now here comes Luigi. The left boot looking for Amoni Gums. Just over his head, and Duke goes back to Randy Gomez. Special. That's loose again, very loose so far. Chipped over the top. It's looking for Chetty Joseph, but again Bradshaw comes across and does well. But his clearance will only find Tarek Sampson. Tarek Sampson finds John. John back to Sampson. It's Tarek Sampson. Hits it straight at Bailey.
It's a good move, good football there from the attackers, John and Sampson, but the finishing touch not right there, straight at Bailey, who accepted that very, very well.
Good starting position by Daniel Bailey. Well, it's a good pass to Kabi. Here's Romain Kabi. Puts the ball across. It's out for a corner. Fast start by the attackers.
Yeah, so the game is just about speeding up a lot more now. Most likely all the players would have had an assessment of how the field is playing, and they are trying to accelerate now because we had a slow start, almost as if we were playing 20 minutes, but we are only into the 13 minutes of play actually, and it's still 0-0.
Ball whipped in, and just away from the head of Mason.
Yes.
It will be another corner.
I thought what happened is that cross that Kabi tried to cross, I think No had more than enough time to really control the ball and turn and boot it upfield as opposed to be giving away a corner. But
here's Hakeem Baird. He scored from here previously, Hakeem Baird, but this shot is dragged wide.
yeah, so they'll have to be a little bit more sharp, and as opposed to just soaking up the pressure and letting the attackers play most of the football, they themselves will need to at least start to be playing and to have attackers be defending as well, because at the moment they're having their way, especially in midfield.
Bailey. Good pass. So we'll find Luigi. Goes back to Richardson. Colin back to Richardson. Trying to go long towards Gums. Gums up against Mason. And Baird shifts it out wide to Riley. When Riley is going to do well, but he can't keep it in play because, again, the field just makes the ball move that little bit quicker.
Yes, certainly.
Colin. Across to Caleb. Trying to slide one through incisively to Yana Romney, but Centerval Duke got himself in the way of that one. Now it's Chetty. Hakeem Baird to Ricardo John. John out wide to Kabi. Kabi, good ball in. Hakeem Baird shifts it back to Ricardo John, who will make no mistake. Attackers have the lead. Ricardo John makes it 1-0.
And football 101, not defending as well as they are to be, the Lymers. And that it appears though that ball came off of Bradshaw and ended up into the back of the net. But pass coming over, cut back, and John right on just outside of the penalty area had a clear path to shoot at goal, and that he did, and the ball ended up into the back of the net. So the Lymers, they're almost playing like with a flat back five, but there are a lot of spaces, a lot of gaps in between that are allowing the attackers players to find the seams as well.
And I think that's happening because the midfield, they're playing with one holding midfielder as opposed to two. You know that usually both Caleb and Liddy would sit in front of the back four and allow for a more creative player to play in front of them, like perhaps a Ian Romney or Pompey, or Terry Pompey. But today both defensive midfielders allowing Caleb to push a lot higher up the field, players maybe a box-to-box. And only Liddy is sitting, and with him being occupied by Chetty, it leaves Ricardo John alone to run against the back four.
And certainly they missed the services seriously of Pompey, because he's one of those sharp players who can really get to players on the field. And certainly you're not seeing that. You have the likes of Samil, who's captain in the team at the moment. I feel that he should be doing a lot more running, especially in midfield, himself and Jan, because Caleb is doing a lot of work by himself.
Precisely.
And needs a lot more help.
That was called back for a free kick, but the attackers are disappointed because Chetty was away and running. He wanted the advantage. It will be a free kick to the attackers. Special goes to Mason. Ricardo John. Riley to Duke. Duke back to Ricardo John. Now Sampson. Chetty. Now Kabi. Kabi whips it in towards Ricardo John, who has his second of the day, unmarked in the box. That's criminal defending, but Ricardo John will say thank you very much. 2-0.
Yes, I see, and that is just too easy. You have players back. You have the number of players back there to at least challenge and to look at seams and areas that players are running into. I think they're ball watching a little bit too much, and that is where they're getting caught off guard. And likewise, Ricardo John all by himself, but number of players at the back, so they'll certainly need to regroup and try to reorganize themselves, especially in midfield and in the back four, at the way they are playing.
There are not many players in this league that you have to man mark, but if there is one, it's Ricardo John. You can't leave him unmarked in the box. He will not miss ever. Not Ricardo John, not in the 6-yard area. He has to be marked. They left him completely open, and he was not going to miss from there. Not with the whole goal at his mercy. As Brian will find Samuel. Herbert. He's trying to drive it inside, but Amono is making the runner into the channel. As here comes Chetty. Chetty spinning. Finds Special. Sampson. Beard. Riley. Riley across to Chetty Joseph, who puts it over.
And he only had an empty net again because Bailey had just slipped a little bit. And again, you see that pass going to Riley. Samuel is on the outside, and the number 15 player there in for the what's his name? Our young guy who used to play with us. Van Dijk.
Van Dijk Herbert.
Yeah, Van Dijk is trying to close the lane and the seams, but what is happening is that Samuel is just staying in a position, not marking anybody. So he has to get a lot more active in midfield.
A bit across to Riley. Riley into the area, and Bailey this time will collect. But again, there was Chetty unmarked at the back post. Had Bailey missed it, Chetty had an open goal at his mercy again.
Yes, and now they say they need to push players forward now to at least make the attackers defend as well.
O'Brien plays it out wide well. Chipped over the top. Stopped by Special.
They're just having it too easy in midfield.
They're trying to play the long ball, but they're just not getting it to work. Because they're not getting Liddy enough touches in the midfield right now. As Sampson moves across to Chetty. As we know, usually Liddy is the man who has a very good long ball over the top. But he's just not getting onto the ball enough. Samuel.
See?
They'll find him money, but he waited a bit too long, and now possession is gone as Duke plays it over. Good ball to Riley. Now Sampson. Missed touch by Tarek Sampson. Now here comes Luigi. Luigi waiting on the pass. Goes all the way back. Because the attackers, they do have their defensive shape in order. Liddy. Like the shift one across. He will find Samuel. Samuel goes across. There should be a goal. They're bundling it around and they will put it in. That's why Liddy needs touches, because he can play passes like that. Game on, 2-1.
Yes, and that is why I'm saying to them, they are making it too easy for the attackers, because if they put pressure on the defense, they have good skilled players with an opportunity to score goals as well, and so they can't allow them to run roughshod through the midfield. They have to make them defend as well. Caleb is doing a lot of work. A good pass from Samuel there. At one point I saw him looked at Caleb and turned back and tried to find the player over here, which was eventually cut out. So they have got the goal, one back, and will certainly look to try and see if they can get back in equal terms. We're still just into the 23rd minute of play.
Jan Romney, the goal scorer, the man on possession now. He'll find Samuel. Back to Romney. Herbert, that's a loose touch. And Ricardo John can try to get this one here. But Herbert does well, and he doesn't win the throw-in. Threw the ball away there, but I don't think the referee saw it.
He did well to make up for his mistake, but couldn't keep the ball in play. Well, he actually thought that he might have knocked it off the boot of John, but assistant had other ideas.
Riley to Baird. That's loose by Baird again. He's not had his best game today, Hakeem Baird. He's not been as composed as we usually see him, Hakeem Baird. Oh, Ricardo John just can't keep it in play. I think Baird might be suffering from not having Casa next to him in the midfield. Casa is usually that solid rock player that allows Baird to do whatever he wants, gives him that freedom to roam. But with Casa out, he's had to take a lot more responsibility. And that's poor by Bailey, and Herbert has to clean up. Sampson. Liddy can't get the header on. Ricardo John was offside, says the referee, even though the assistant didn't call it.
Yeah, well, you know, he'd see what he saw.
I guess Hilton saw it himself.
But then the ball came off of the head.
It came off of the head of Liddy. So Liddy went for the header. It headed the wrong way. So Ricardo John cannot be offside. Well then, Hilton. Well then.
But even though Casa is not one as fleet-footed as he used to be, he at least can link and can make that telling pass from time to time. And so sometimes all you need is that stabilizing force there that can help you. So now the Amoni should get closer to that ball
Yes, but he's been forced to sit off because the midfield just doesn't have the bodies in it right now to compete with the attackers. As here's Akeem Baird, another good bit of work by Vandrick Herbert.
Yeah.
Herbert is playing very well. Sampson. Riley. Dangerous ball in, but Bradshaw does well and boots it far upfield. Duke with a good touch. But the pass is a bit rushed. Forced to get out of play for a Lymers throw. Herbert to Samuel. Let it run. Throw to the attackers.
You certainly need to give Amoni a lot more support, especially when the ball is playing in the defensive third for the attackers.
That's because if you're going to play a midfield 2 against a midfield 3, your midfield 2 has to be mobile, has to be very mobile. But while Caleb is doing a lot of running, Lady just doesn't suit a midfield 2 anymore. Doesn't have the legs for it. Where he works best is in a midfield 3 where he can sit in front of the back 4 and just spray the passes over the top or play the short passes in. But in the midfield 2, he is forced to do a lot more running than he is able to do.
Well, it looks as though they have brought Amoni a lot further back and has pushed Jan.
Oh, careless. Samil across to Romney. But Romney wasn't on the same page as Samil.
Yeah, but the ball should have gone to Ikenya.
Luge is frustrated.
Yes.
Luge wanted that pass. Oh, brilliant by Riley. Trying to muscle off Vandrick, and he will get the free kick.
Yes, that. And you could see Jan wasn't prepared for that. He was looking for the pass there.
No, because Luigi was running in and he was steaming across. He's still fuming over there, just walking back. He's very frustrated, Luigi. So here comes Hakeem Baird. Baird across to John.
Well, that's a serious challenge there.
It's a very good challenge.
John is saying, what's going on?
He got the ball and the man, I guess, as Sampson finds Ricardo John. John across to Kadeem Riley, who's onside here.
Well, again, the referee has made a call.
The referee is calling the offside without the assistant referee. I don't...
Is that Jackson over on that side?
This is unprecedented. For the second time, the referee has called an offside without the assistant.
Well, and I'm thinking that Jackson is in the perfect position to look at, to make the call.
Well, referee Bartman's just below us. I'll have to ask him about those there.
Yes, and we see Porty as well, a statistician, they are pointing, so, and look at where the ball is being spotted, so, unless he's saying, well, John came from an offside position and played the ball.
But that is also incorrect because John got himself back on side before the ball was played. So that would also be incorrect. And I think that because that's where the ball was placed, I think that's a call he made. And again, I don't think that was correct. I think Hilton has to be a bit more reliant on his assistant referees because their main job is to call the throw-in and call the offsides.
Well, like Hilton will tell you, he's the man with the whistle.
Well, the man with the whistle might not be having his best day right now. Again, just going back to look at that replay there, where they did call Ricardo John offside. When Sampson received the ball there, Ricardo John saw that, and he was well onside before Sampson played the pass. He was kept onside by, I think, Richardson. I think either Richardson or Bradshaw kept him onside. Couldn't quite see who was playing right center back. I think it was Carlos Richardson.
Ball chipped over again, but no one from the Lymers running onto it. They really need to get themselves together so far.
But if you're going to put someone in midfield, why put Amoni in midfield when he's the outlet over the top with his pace? You would be better served using Ian Romney in the midfield and allowing Amoni Gomes to play up top.
But they're thinking, well, I think the energy that Jan is giving off so far, starting in midfield, has not been there. So maybe the sharpness of Amoni will work better. But then you see him at least getting forward as well. And so the position going forward will have to be a lot more circumspect.
That was given away. Here comes Chetty. Chetty's pass is cut out well by Liddy. Gums trying to shift it forward towards Samuel, but didn't get the direction quite right. Mason. Duke.
You can certainly put pressure on Duke. You can certainly put pressure on Duke and pick up those inerrant passes like no.
Very good work by Baird. He will get the return pass. Tries to go across to Kabi. Is that an offside call against Romain Kabi?
Well, this time Jackson, all I'm seeing, next time Jackson who raised the flag, and Hilton is not having any of whatever Riley is saying. But Kabi has not been in play for quite some time now.
Yes, he got the assist, but he's been a bit silent. It was a tight call, the offside against Romain Kabi. From our angle, couldn't quite tell. Good defensive work initially. It will find Herbert. Trying to go down the line to Samuel. Samuel can't keep it in play.
Yes, a little bit sloppy there from Vandrick Herbert. Pass could have gone a lot more to Samuel.
Sampson goes back to Mason. Son Mason will find Hakeem Baird. Now Chetty Joseph trying to slide it through for Romain Kabi. Bit too heavy. Daniel Bailey will collect.
I just think the Lymers midfield can get a little closer to the play, especially when the attackers are playing from the back. They can really cramp the space. They can really squeeze the space. That will certainly give them a lot more opportunity to pick up passes.
Also poor distribution there. And Ricardo John has gone down holding his heel. May have been trampled on by Herbert in trying to get possession. He may have gotten the back of his heel stepped on.
He's disgusted with probably Hilton as well. Probably saying to himself, man, you're not seeing.
Attackers are long to play the ball in fairness. And Samuel was taking his time with it. Samson held up his hands like, what are you doing? We're giving you the pass, play it. Samson goes across to Chetty, but he couldn't get his touch under control.
The Barbados Royals trying to chase 100 runs. Look like they're making a meal of it, 56 for 6.
They're playing Trinbago, if I'm correct.
Yes.
And ball there by Riley, a bit too heavy. And Royals, they were favored coming in to the tournament, but this Trinbago side, with Anissa Mohammed leading the spin attack, they've bowled very well throughout the tournament.
Yes, certainly, and there's an infringement there on the part of Bracha. Player just probably dropping over his back there and landing awkwardly.
Seems to be Hakeem Baird, the man down.
Yeah, looks to be. I think they've just balanced out a bit. The Lymers are at least looking a little bit more sharp in terms of their play.
As here comes the shot that will be taken now, but blocked. It was Chetty Joseph there. Now here comes Samuel. Straight to Duke. Sampson. Duke can't get his touch under control there. I think Sampson had to put the ball on the ground. Try to play it in the air, and Duke couldn't get under control. Here's Duke now. To Joseph. Sampson. Beard. Back to Sampson. Beard.
Get to the ball.
With a good run by John. It's still John, but bustled off the ball. Kirby doing well, but can't quite maintain possession. Throw in to the Lymers. About 10 minutes left in this first half. It is 2-1 in favor of the attackers. Both goals for the attackers falling to the boot of Ricardo John, while for the Lymers it was Jan Romney who was able to eventually bury a chance, as the Lymers will be making an early substitution here.
Well, it looked like Colin is holding his hamstring, so he might probably give way to the player there. It looked like Andrew.
Might be Andrew Connor. Here comes Riley. Riley sends a man sliding. Still Riley. Still Riley. Deflected. Ricardo John has his shot blocked and cleared. Duke finds Beard. Beard trying to get the 1-2. It falls to Duke. Goes over the top towards John. A good header by Carlos. And nodded out for a corner, as looks like Liddy has stayed down.
Yeah. I think Bradford could have head that ball back to Bailey, though, and regain possession.
As Liddy will be coming off, and it looks like Andrew Connor will be coming onto the field of play.
Yeah, probably, maybe there's a muscle strain or something of that sort. You know, there's a lot of mileage on those legs of Colin. Literally, both in goal, both on the field, from primary school right up.
All right, up. Remember, one of my first memories of playing football in primary school was up against Coach Collins' Road School, and they were a formidable foe. Anytime he took the field against them.
Yes.
Coaching at the primary school level, he's coached at the senior level, coaches the soldiers right now, and from being goalers #1 to now starting in midfield for the Lymers.
Yes, Colin is really one of those good players to have around, good positive attitude, good ideas, good team player, and has really put in yeoman service across the spectrum here in Anguilla when it comes to youth development and football here for the entire Anguilla community.
Shifted across to Riley. Kadeem Riley's effort goes over.
Good shot, but just a little high, and no harm there to Bailey in goal. It's both seen into the 39th minute of play. But certainly Andrew has not played a lot, but he's one of those busy players as well who will give his all.
Yes, most definitely, and I do know him to be playing as a fullback usually, but I'm starting in the midfield today. So here comes Sampson. And when it comes, does well defensively. And Herbert is trying to break away. Herbert will get the 1-2 from Ian Romney. Herbert puts the ball into the area now, and Gomez went across and make the save, even though it was going into the side netting.
Gomez probably felt, well, I haven't done anything spectacular.
He might be a bit bored.
Yes. So let's see if we can do something with this one.
Hasn't had much work to do. The goal he couldn't do anything about, and outside of that, he's had no work.
Yes.
Don't think he's touched the ball today, apart from that save that he did not have to make. There will be a corner, and we know how good the Lymers are from corners. They have so much height, and the Bradshaw brothers and the Morning Gums, as well as Caleb Bryan. Whipped in there by Luigi, but not a good corner at all. Carlos had to get the touch right because Ricardo John was just in behind him.
Poor pass from, again,
Samuel.
poor pass from Samuel. He's not.
Here comes Riley. Riley cuts it inside. Riley. All right, trying to go across. He will find Chetty, and Chetty's effort is team, a very team.
Yeah, Samuel has looked short of work as compared to the preliminaries leading up to the finals, semi-finals. He certainly look short on work out there today.
You see Lloyd, he is going over to the attacker's bench. And I suspect that he will not be too far away from entering the field of play. The only question is, where do you put him? Does he come on for Warby or Duke or Kirby as the ball is whipped in? It will find Romain Kirby. Kirby forces a good save from Bailey. It falls to John, taking off his boot, and now cleared. Amoni tries to poke it around the corner, but
That's
Duke cleans up.
That should be a foul.
Sampson to John. Loose touch by John. That's not a sentence I ever thought I would say. A loose touch by Ricardo John. But that's given away to Ricardo John. Drags his shot wide.
Yes. Loose wide by John, and it's going to be a goal kick. We are into the 43rd minute of play, and it's 2-1 in favor of the attackers. Goals coming from the boot of John. And here's his ball is just shepherded into the arms there of Gomez there by Brooks. Here is Kirby running through, but cut out there. And it's going to be a throw-in to the Lymers FC. Looking to get back on equal terms here. They did find themselves some 2-goal down, but has been able to pull one back. Here is a flick on there, but not just a little too slow. Here is Joseph, cut out there by Bradshaw. Ball has been booted upfield, but only to find the boots of Khalid. And here is Kirby. Poor cross, not a good cross at all. Here is Joseph trying to set up the player there. Ball comes across field, and 2 players colliding, and it appears as if Van Dijk would have did play it from behind, but the referee says nothing wrong with that, and Riley is not. Yeah, it could be trouble. Ball booted upfield by Gomez, headed there, but Amoni can't get to it. Number 27 centre ball Duke. Still in a spot of bother is the attackers, but danger averted there by Khalid Brooks. Here is John, the player in Riley. He's still down at the box. The ball is being played. And here is John. He looks around, plays back to Brooks, and he will now put the ball into touch, so some treatment can be had there to the player there in Riley. And after that challenge there from Vandrick. And not seeing any movements from the physiotherapist there on the bench. Referee still talking to the player. Player is still on the ground. I'm not sure what's happening. His boots is off. And that looks like the captain in special there, trying to really find out what is going on. We would have played, we've gone past the halfway mark. And Riley is still underground. There are 3 attackers players who's in close proximity. It appears as though he would have picked up a knock and has to be helped off the field. And now we see the physiotherapist now. He's walking to the player who's been helped off the field. And play is going to restart. Possibly maybe about 2-3 minutes of added time. So you're not missing any football. Just had a break there for some attention to be given to the player there in Riley. Play has been started. The ball is with attackers. Plays back to the defender there, Centerval Duke. Just knocking it around. Not seeing how much time was put on the board. But it's Bracha for the Lymers. And Moni picks up. Nice move there. Here is Samuel. He's been, finds Amoni. Amoni looks up, chips the ball across, and almost saying the ball was handled there, but referee says no. And it's going to be a throw in there to the Lymers. And ball put into touch there again. So it's going to be a throw further into the attacking third of the Lymers as they look to close out strong here in this final moments. Throw taken, heads going up. Andrew controls, finds. It looked like Bracha, cross coming in, and just over the head there of Amoni, but good effort there. Vandrick chips nicely. This could be trouble. Bracha getting ahead of it, but not getting the direction as well as he would have liked, and eventually cleared out upfield there, but some serious pressure there from the Lymers, and there goes the halftime whistle. At the end of halftime, it's attackers 2 goals to 1. Attackers scoring 2 goals in the early portion from the boot of John, and it was Jan Romney who pulled one back And so far, it's good going there from the Lymers after having found himself 2 goals down, really coming back and ending strongly here. Could have almost had an equalizer had Amoni been just a tad bit taller. Had a glorious opportunity there, but not being able to get head to ball. And so we go into halftime at 2 goals to 1 in favor of the attackers. We do hope that you have enjoyed the first portion of this game, first half, and we're looking forward to joining you in about 10 minutes. Back to Master Control. Morning needed to be like a maybe about another inch taller. I would have got straight to the back of the net.
Well, we're back live now at the Raymond Eagleshot Technical Center for the start of this second half between the attackers and the Lymers. It is 2-1 in favor of the attackers. Both goals coming up from the boot of Ricardo John. The Lymers, as the first half progressed, they grew more and more into it, and at the end of the first half had a brilliant chance to Moni Gums, who just couldn't get his header goalward. Just couldn't get enough on it to direct it towards the goal. Coming up in our primetime game for the weekend, it's going to be the Roaring Lions taking on the Kicks United. Yet another chapter in this historic rivalry between these two sides. Both the Lions and the Kicks would want to win. The Kicks more so than the Lions. The Lions, they want to keep pace. They want to maintain their record at the top of this Champions League. Having beaten the Ducks United. The game that the Lions, the Ducks, and the attackers will be keeping a close eye on is the attackers versus Lions matchup still to be played. As if the attackers were to win, that would draw all three teams level on points. If this result holds, actually. This result has to hold. Seeing as that will be the Lions' one loss. The attackers already have their loss versus the Ducks. And the Ducks would have lost to the Lions. So the attackers have to beat the Lions to give all three teams one loss. Special. It's across the Duke. Now Beard. Chetty. Riley. John trying to scoop it around the corner. Couldn't quite succeed with it, and the Lambs can look to break. They do have pace as well. Seems to be Herbert there. Going in tenaciously and going in dangerously, says referee Hilton. That's a free kick. Put out wide to Bradshaw. Bradshaw using his pace. Bradshaw. Tries to cut it past Beard. Now Gums. Finds Luigi. Samuel. Samuel drives one that will not trouble Randy Gomez at all. Here come the attackers with Kaneem Riley. Riley loses out. Lymers are looking to get this game back to level pegging. Captain Samuel. Good turn there. Driving forward as well. Ball whipped into the area, but over the head of any pink and black shirts. Wobby. Good turn by Romain Kirby. He finds Ricardo John, but Sidhu Bradshaw steps in well. Special. Beard clips it over the head of Luigi. But this pass towards Ricardo Jorna. Intercepted well there by, it looks like, Andrew Connor. Now Gums. Gums back to Connor. Shifts it over to Samuel. Samuel finds Gums. I'm on Gums' effort. Will be collected rather easily there by Randy Gomez. So distributes quickly. Looking for Kadeem Riley. Lymers once again, they've controlled the possession so far in this second half. The Lymers gets past Duke. And it's a good challenge. It will be a corner. Corner kick whipped into the area. Not a bad ball, but again, no trouble for Randy Gomez. It's a good kick as well. Set it initially. Shot back over towards Ricardo John. John can't get around to Carlos. Carlos has played well at center back yet again today. It's a lot more composed at center back as opposed to the two Bradshaw brothers. Both very physical. I like the change they've made. Switching one of the Bradshaw brothers and Noah out wide to play left back. And allowing Carlos to play at center back. Hakeem Beard blocked. It is going to be a corner. Just below us, we can see the Roaring Lions going to warm up. They'll be taking on the Kicks United around 7 p.m. A bit after 7 p.m. Seeing as this game did start a bit late. And what a game that is slated to be. Whipped into the area. Kirby now. Special. Good work in there. Very good work in there. All right, Chetty Joseph. It will now find Hassan Mason. Out wide to Hakeem Beard. And Beard's ball into the area is going to find Sampson, who somehow forces it home. But I think the foul has been given. The foul was given. It's going to be a penalty to the attackers. This could be Ricardo John's chance to get his hat trick. He already has 2 on the day, and he's going to take this penalty as well. And a yellow card shown as well. So referee Hilton gives a yellow card. So it looks like Bradshaw there. Ricardo John already has 2. Can he get his hat trick? Yet another hat trick. Referee's whistle has been blown. Ricardo John still yet to step into his run-up. Now he does. Run-up seems a bit more abbreviated than usual. Couple steps, buries it into the far corner. That's his hat trick. Ricardo John makes it 3-1. Bailey went the right way, just couldn't get a hand to it because it was powerfully struck by Ricardo John. He has 3. Ball played in early, looking for Gums. Gomez will collect. Gums applauds the idea. Here's Tarek Sampson. This time Ricardo John applauds the idea. Here come the Lymers. Brian plays the ball a bit too far ahead of himself. The attackers can counter. It's a good tackle as well there. Ricardo John. Goes past Beard and instead opts to find, is that Kadeem Riley there? It goes across to Ricardo John, who can't quite get his footing right initially, and it's forced away. Substitution now for the Lymers FC. It seems like Luigi maybe coming off the field of play. Might be the man Luigi. For the attackers, it's going to be the end of Romain Kabi's night, as he will be replaced by, it looks like, Javon Lloyd. Kabi getting himself an assist today. Not his worst game in recent memory. Sampson. Special. Looking for John, cut out well. As you can see, some Kicks United players going down into the dressing room. Here comes Lloyd. Javon Lloyd. Lloyd puts the ball across for Kadeem Riley. Still Riley now. Still Riley. Kadeem Riley's shot is blocked. As far as Hakeem Beard puts it about a mile over. The attackers, once again, they've been relentless in these last few minutes. Too long by Chetty. And Money Guns wants to pass. Chetty gives it away yet again. So wide for Jan Romney. Looks like that's Terry Pompey there. So I believe Pompey is a man who was brought onto the field of play. Lloyd. Sampson. Chetty. Baird. Good combination play. John. Lloyd. His cross is blocked. Throw in. Randy Gomez now. Pushes it short to Hassan Mason. Special. Wabi. Getting a lot more game time as of recently than he has in a long time due to the absence of so many players for the attackers. And come on as a substitute in their last game, and now he's forced to start this one. As I said, he won't play unless he's needed to play if they don't have any players. And to start with today, they had exactly 11 with Lloyd's arrival. They do end up with 12. With him being the only one that can play fullback, he's been forced to stay on. Lloyd is not really a right back at all. He's very much left-footed. And Romain Kabi is in no way, shape, or form a defender. Fully an attacker is Romain Kabi. So Wabi has had to stay on and play right back. Doing the hard yards, the dirty work. This is lovely so far. Hakeem Baird. Shipped over the top, and Daniel Bailey will collect. Back to Gomez yet again. John shifts it out wide to Sampson. Now Lloyd. Can't keep it in play. Thrown down the line. Mason. Just good speed being shown, but the passing is a bit off in the last couple of possessions for the attackers. It's not quite been at their sparkling best. Speed gets his heel clipped. Awabi finds John. John wants to turn. John forced to go wide. This one was red, but he couldn't maintain the position. Good bit of skill as well. Whipped into the back, the edge of the area, but Ricardo John took it away from his teammate who was waiting on it. There seemed to be Chetty Joseph. And when it comes to speed, but Randy Gomez was alert. One is given away, however. Caleb, that's a good pass. And looked like Jan Romney tried to flick it in. But tried to play it across when he could have flicked it in. Now the attackers can break. Poor ball by Chetty Joseph, however. And Riley is furious because he's like, I'm right there. Just give me the ball. Here come the Lymers, breaking with pace. They have men in the area. The cross goes straight to Randy Gomez. Chinny and Riley have not quite been on the same page after Riley has switched over to this wing. As a chance for the Lymers, but a brilliant challenge there. Look like Special who put in that last-ditch effort. It's a wonderful challenge. Lloyd will find John. Riley. On to Sampson now. Riley. Sampson. Back to Riley. Riley to Sampson. Hakeem Beard. He has space, you know. Hakeem Beard has an effort. Barely collects. That's a booming kick by Daniel Bailey. All the way up to Randy Gomez. Wabi to Beard. Sampson. Beard back to Sampson. John. It's again Sampson. And this time booted upfield. Where Special was shepherded it into the arms of his goalkeeper and Randy Gomez. Thrown out, but given away. A good bit of work there defensively. A very good bit of work. Mason. Across to Duke. It's again a frustration on the attacking end for the Attackers FC. Let's see a couple kicks players going over to get warmer. They don't have much time. Don't have too much time to get warm to Kicks United. These teams are usually called in 20 minutes before kickoff. Free kick. Chipped in. And it's going to bounce. That's careless. But the finish just wasn't up to par. Shades of the first game of the season. Well, the Attackers drew to a last-minute Lymers free kick because they allowed the ball to bounce in the area. But this time, they just couldn't put the ball on target. He had the entire goal at his mercy. Beard. Riley. Beard. Giving away. Corner. Finds Pompey. Pompey with the ball over the top for Morney. Back to Terry Pompey. But Mason steps in. Now Centerval Duke. Lloyd. Herbert yet again does well. He's had a very good game, Patrick Herbert. So here comes Hakeem Baird. He finds Chetty. Now Sampson. Lloyd. Sampson gives it away, but does well to recover. Special. Gomez gives it away to Caleb, but Caleb just couldn't get his footing. Duke. Baird. John to Riley. Riley trying to go back to John. Just couldn't get that one past the defender. It is 3-1, but the Lymers have had the better portion of the last 15 minutes. As Duke goes back to Gomez. Again, a careless pass, but this time Baird does well. Mason goes across to Wabi. Wabi ships it past Ian Romney and goes back to Mason. Now Riley. Riley to John. Oh, brilliant touch on Ricardo John. Goes out wide to Chetty Joseph. Here's Chetty Joseph who cuts it back, but straight at Daniel Bailey. That's a great challenge there because Samuel was trying to break away. Here's Wabi. Wabi trying to use his pace. Does well, wins the throw-in. Whipped in, but it can be picked up now by Carlos. Caleb. Forward towards Amoni, but too heavy. Well, positive news for the Kicks United. Their captain and the goalkeeper is back from suspension, Jelani Lawrence. I was out for the last game due to picking up a red card in their match versus the Attackers. A controversial game. And in the last game, it forced the man Junior Anthony to go in goal. He did a pretty good job, Junior. He is a very good goalkeeper, as well as a talented outfield player, Junior. Did go away as a goalkeeper coach with the under-14 boys. As that's a good ball. So to find John, who is onside, but it's 1 versus 3. Ricardo John. John around the outside. Ricardo John drags his shot. Well, he just didn't get in around it enough. But that looked like the Ricardo John of old. The jump that was 1 versus 3, 1 versus 4, and taking on all of those players and beating them. Just couldn't get the shot on target. Jetty would sit along with Ricardo John, was still in an offside position. Sampson found Lloyd. Now back to Sampson. Beard towards Sampson. Sampson's charging here. And Bailey spills it. And it's buried. 4 goals to 1. And that's a very good finish by Lloyd. He has his first goal in Attackers colors. It's 4 goals to 1. His first goal for any club in Angola not named Spartans FC. Javon Lloyd with a wonderful finish to make it 4-1. An even bigger hole for the Lymers to try and dig themselves from. And as the time goes on, I doubt they'll be able to get out of it. Into the 78th minute of play, it's 4 goals to 1. As here's John to Baird. Joseph to John, who leaves it alone. Here comes Lloyd again. But that was not a good finish. John goes down. He wants a foul. He will get the foul. Hilton has a big decision to make here. It is going to be a card. It is going to be a card. The rain is starting to come down here at the Raymond Eagleshaw Technical Center. It's been raining pretty much all weekend so far. Raining from the Caribbean all weekend. Free kick. Riley over this one. It's him. Surprisingly, it's not Baird. You know, Baird has a very good set piece on him. Riley and Sampson, the players over this one. As I believe, in fact, that was a second yellow for Bradshaw. That is his red. That's his marching orders, I do believe. He has been sent his marching orders by referee Hilton. I'm just seeing that there. It was, in fact, his marching orders. As Riley takes one, and Riley puts it in the top corner. What a finish for Kadeem Riley. Back amongst the goals as the rain comes pouring down. So have the goals. It's 5-1. 5-1. And this rain is pelting down. Both the teams that were warming up have gone into the dressing room. Can barely see out the commentary box window. But it is 5-1 in favor of the attackers. Ricardo John with a hat trick, and then Javon Lloyd and Kadeem Riley getting on the score sheet as well. They may not be done yet. Here comes Sampson towards Chetty. Chetty trying to use his speed. Chetty is in here. He goes back to Sampson. Tariq Sampson chips it across. That's a good header. Baird steps in. A good cleanup. And now the Lions can look to break up Terry Pompey to Brian. Now back to Terry Pompey. A good defending my special yet again. Breaking away now. The Lymers, a game that is more than likely over at 5-1. With just about 7 minutes left plus added time. Here come the Lymers, however, trying to drag one back. You see, lightning is coming in as well from the southeast. Some lightning is starting to come in from the southeast. We do have tropical formation passing over the area this weekend. Would hope that the lightning does not come any closer and continues to drift easterly rather than come a bit more northern, than it would be affecting us here at the REGTC. John Sampson, Riley, Chetty Joseph, back to Riley. Riley still, it's Kadeem Riley, puts it over. Throw-in. Baird. Riley. Baird. Across to Chetty. Wabi did come off the field of play. He has been replaced by, it looks like the man Clowney Richardson. As the ball forward, we'll find Chetty Joseph. Chetty Joseph! And it's going to be poked straight to Daniel Bailey. Joseph just didn't want to take the shot with his right boot. Here come the Lymers now. Does have two men in the area to aim at. Oh, brilliant work. Puts the ball across. Gomez punches it clear. And eventually can be walked away. Baird. John. Back to Hakeem Baird. And Baird beats a man for pace and strength. Hakeem Baird into the area. Hakeem Baird cuts it back for Ricardo John, who puts it wide. Right from the edge of the 18-yard area, he put it wide. Beard. He does find Ricardo John. John across to Javon Lloyd, who chose to be unselfish. And it will go behind for a goal kick. He should have shot there. Tries to go across there towards Terry Pompey. Brian. And again, we can see the lightning flash there in the southeast. Still seems a bit far away. If it gets any closer, then the match referee will have a call to make. Just plays it back to special now. Lloyd. Duke. Mason. Special. Pass was cut out well by Caleb Bryan. Now Bradshaw. Beard cut it out well. Sampson now to Riley. Riley forward looking for Chetty Joseph, but well stepped in there by Carlos Richardson, throwing to the attackers. Approaching the 90-minute mark, we are into the 89th minute. 5 goals to 1 in favor of the attackers. Here's Kadeem Riley. Riley, still Riley, puts a ball in. It's a blocked, kept in play. Only as far as Chetty Joseph, who found Hakeem Baird, whose shot was blocked. And now the Lymers can break. Zamoni has pace, but he didn't play the pass. He didn't play the pass to find the money. Still driving now. And don't quite know what he was trying to do there. Trying to play a bit of hero ball. Sampson. Looking for the 1-2. Gets the 1-2. Tariq Sampson puts it all the way across. John takes it down cleverly. Wants the handball, but will not get it. Still the attackers. Sampson. 6-1. What a finish by Tariq Sampson. To add the insult to the injury, Tariq Sampson puts the final dagger in the hearts of the Lymers supporters. 6-1. As the lightning, it is coming a bit closer there from the south. It's moving a bit more. It's moving northern, and it's a bit more directly east, more maybe an east-southeast now from us here at the REGTC. That last flash was a bit closer to the north than it was previously. Rather than directly southeast, it is more a bit east-southeast. You see the likes of Ambrell and Porty down there trying to calculate the exact direction of the lightning. But as the lightning and the drizzle continue to fall here, the goals did not stop at the REGTC. It was all attackers in the second half. And they run out 6 goals to 1 victors. What a performance, a clinical second half performance by the attackers after a Ricardo John hat-trick. It was Lloyd, it was Riley, and it was Sampson who got their attackers their 6 goals. 6-1 the final score here. Join us in a few moments' time, hopefully, depending on how this weather holds up for Lions versus Kicks. But for now, it's back to Master Control.